Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and I have another Best Birds project to share with you. This one is like Watercoloring 102. So my other tutorial is Watercoloring 101, super easy way to use your blender pens. This one takes watercoloring one step further to add just a little bit of extra color, we'll put it on the side, a little bit of extra color to our bird. So I'll give you some tips. This is easy watercoloring, and if you have blender pens at home and you never get them out, I'll give you some tips for how to use them so that you can use what you have. And if you haven't gotten your Stamps the Mail Club packet yet for the month of May, I still have some. Make sure you request them before they're gone. And you can be stamping at home. So grab your stamps, grab your packet, and we'll get going. This one, lots of little pieces and threads in there, so don't lose those. And I'm going to start with my piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. This is just a half sheet, so 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to fold it in half. And I am going to grab my crosshatch stamp here and go ahead and ink this one in soft suede. So I've got this. When you're stamping with photopolymer, stamp on your table, it works best to go ahead and use a paper piercing mat underneath your work surface. That way you know that you'll get good contact between the stamp and the cardstock. So I'm going to use that. And I have 2 strips of paper. This one is from Designer Series Paper Stack, the Neutrals. And I'm going to put these stripes here along the side. It doesn't really matter what paper you use for something like this. It's just a layered edging kind of background, which is kind of a fun thing. And then this paper is actually Lemon Lime Twist, which is one of the new upcoming in colors that starts on June 1st. So you can get it as a demonstrator early. You could also get the ink pad as part of the Eastern Palace kit, but otherwise, hang in there. It'll be coming next month. So, all right, I have a strip of the striped ribbon here, and I'm going to go ahead and trim just a corner end using my sticky scissors. I need to get those cleaned up. And I'm going to put my adhesive right on the back of my ribbon so that I get just a nice bond there. And this is the bottom part of our layering here. So first thing to go down is my ribbon. Oh, I got a little crooked there. And then the next thing I'm going to go ahead and put down is my lace trim. So I'm going to go ahead. This one's a little harder to put down with the snail adhesive. So I'm actually going to put a piece of tear tape on top here, because I have a couple things that are going to layer on top of here, and it's going to cover up most of my adhesive. So trickiest part is getting the backing off. All right, so I have my lace trim that's going to go on here next, and then I'm going to leave just a little bit of space here at the top for this strip of copper foil paper. Did I leave enough space? I don't know, maybe not. Let's see if it'll stick. There we go. Okay, and then I can just trim the whole thing at the end there. Okay, so now we have our pieces. Oh, and an extra thread. All right, so we have our card base here, and now I need to go ahead and add our stamping parts. So I have a die cut bird, which was cut using the bird from Birds and Blooms Thinlits, and also the branch, which is another die cut also from Birds and Blooms Thinlits. Inking my bird here, and since these are photopolymer stamps, it's so much easier to see through, which makes it very convenient. I'm going to go ahead and just the closer you get, the easier you'll be able to tell if you need to shift or if you're pretty much on. So, all right, so there is our die cut. Alternatively, you can turn your stamp this way and put your die cut down on it, but I kind of like with photopolymer going through. Okay, I do have a tip for you about this this branch stamp. Where did mine go? Okay, so here's the stamp. Now, as you know, photopolymer stamps are bendable. So the problem is if I put it on my block and I get it crooked, it's clearly not going to match my die cut. So the stamp itself likes to be its native shape. So I find the best way to mount these when I need it to match a die cut is to just let it be on the table and then bring my block down onto it like this. If I try to apply it by sticking it on with my hand, then sometimes the stamp can get bent and it doesn't match the stamp or the die cut image, and then you have a hard time die cutting it. So there's a good tip for you when you're working with flexible stamps and die cuts. So this one I'm inking in soft suede also and stamping here. And then I have my branch and my bird. Now we're going to watercolor these using one of the aqua painters, but I'm going to give it just an extra minute or two to dry because I want to make sure that our color doesn't smear. The only exception to that is using the blender pen here. The blender pen doesn't have any color to it. It is a marker that has a clear liquid in it. It's like a glycerol water mixture that makes it really easy to blend colors. So when you run it across your paper, no color should show. If color does show, there's the little there, you really just need to keep wiping it on your scratch paper until it comes clean, because what you're doing is you're picking up the color from whatever you're doing. Now when you're stamping with water-based inks, like the classic pads, the Stampin' Up! Classic pads, you can use the water-based to your advantage. So I don't really want this to be dark brown, so all I'm doing is just with the ink that's there, I'm just smearing it just a little bit so that I have a real subtle effect. So I can wipe that out. My band is pretty clean already, or my aqua painter is pretty clean. So what you can do is you can make yourself palettes though. So I want to do my bird here. I want him to be blue. So you just need something that is non-porous surface. So I'm going to use the corner of my block here, and I'm just going to set my Stampin' Spot on there. See how I got like a smudge? So now I have that, I can move this stuff aside and use that as my paint palette for my bird. So I'm going to just use the edge of the blender pen to pick up some color, and then I'm going to give him some color. Now when you first pick up color, it's going to be the most intense, okay? And then as you work it around a little bit, you're going to find the colors lighter. See how already it's kind of running clear? So if you need to sometimes, if you don't have a real dark spot that you want to have be dark, you might need to start off your blender pen here on your scratch paper and then color from there. Okay, so I'm going to, I don't know if there's a bird that actually looks like this, possibly not, but that's okay, right? So we'll give him some blue here and a little bit of extra color here on his face. Let's see. Now I don't want this darkness here to run through, so I'm going to get my dark used up and then have just a little bit lighter color on the rest of them. Now the one thing you want to watch with aqua painters or with blender pens, and man, I hope I haven't been calling this an aqua painter. The one thing you want to watch with blender pens and the Very Vanilla and Whisper White cardstock is that they have a tendency to pill if you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth too much. So you can see here is our watercolor bird. So this little blurb here is kind of bothering me, so I'm going to fill in some extra color down here, and you can soften that color just a little bit. Next is our branch and our leaves. So I'm going to grab my old olive and do a different corner of my block to make my palette. There you can kind of see. And I'm going to pull some color from my block and add some old olive to my leaves. So same thing, I want my color to be darkest in the center of the leaf or along the lines. So when I first pick up color, I'm going to stay on those lines. So pick up color, stay on a line, and then as the color starts to come out of the the blender pen, sorry, then I'm going to branch out into, get it? Branch out into the other parts of the leaf. Okay, so we have that, and let's see, that part's really dark on that one leaf, so I'll make the other ones match it. It's easier to add color to make things match than to pull it away at that point. So, okay, there we go. Now I will finish up my card and get pieces assembled. So I have my bird and my branch and this linen thread. So what I'm going to do is grab some my fingers and just go around my fingers a few times here. Let's see. There we go. And then where the strings meet at the end, I'm going to go ahead and put a Stampin' Dimensional on the back of my bird. I'll put it back towards the end here, and then place this set of cord there. Then from the front, I can space this out a little bit to make it a little bit more artistic. Okay, and then if you kind of get it set the way you want it to, you can also go back and add another dimensional on the back to keep your strings where you want them. Okay, so I have that, and now I can go ahead, I just got a big green smudge there on my card. Okay, so let's see, I could put my bird way up there to cover it up. I guess I could do that. So I'll show you my other sample where the bird's in a slightly different place. But this one's going to go there because it is. And my branch is going to go underneath. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some adhesive. Maybe I'll put a one-dimensional here on the back of my leaves, and slide this branch under here so our bird has got a place to be standing. Oh, I kind of like him there too, actually. I'll show you my other card with the other one, with the other placement. And then I'm going to grab the It's a Good Day stamp set, stamp here, and place this on a block. And I'm going to ink this in soft suede. So grab my Stampin' Spot, and let's see, I'll put this over here. There we go. It's a good day. All right, despite where I've got stray ink, it's a good day. So I'll show you this one, and then I'll show you my other card too, where I put my bird a little bit closer to where my crosshatch fits and placed it a little differently. But you know what? There's no such thing as a mistake. It's just a different effect, right? So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you would like to request your own Stamps in the Mail Club kit. These are from May of 2017, and I do have a couple left right now, so don't wait too long. Or check out what my current Stamps in the Mail Club kits are if you're watching this video in the future. So now you'll have another way to use your aqua painter. So happy stamping!